Today we have another exciting day in crypto. Bitcoin has been rising. We've seen a 4.4% increase. Ethereum has a breakout. The alts are pumping. Goldman Sachs is saying Bitcoin is crap. And finally, we're going to look at a bunch of analyses from crypto Twitter. So starting out by looking at the top 100 coins on CoinGecko, we can see that Bitcoin has had a 4.4% rise just in the past day, which is really exciting. But even more exciting than that is Ethereum. Not only has Ethereum been going up, but if we look at the last 7 days, look at these numbers. You see 168, 75, even the lowest number here on this screen is 26%. And if we go to the negative numbers, the biggest dump we've had is just 20%, right? So, I mean, there's a clear indication here that the alts are having a little mini alt season. And whether or not this will lead to a more major alt season is something that we're going to look into shortly. So, in terms of news, we have Charles Hoskinson, who's revealing the launch dates for Cardano's Chiliz. This is likely what led to Cardano moving up 13.4%, some of the biggest rises in price we've seen for any of the top 20 coins. And then, of course, we had an interview here, guys, with Dan Tapiero on the channel. He has a career spanning 20 years managing multiple trillion-dollar portfolios, and his opinion about Bitcoin has drastically changed. He forecast that Bitcoin could go to 400K into 5 to 10 years. And this is in a stark contrast to the Goldman Sachs news. There's always going to be some big players saying that it's crap. And obviously, Goldman Sachs has a lot of influence. But, you know, I think that this is just good news. You know, if the big players still aren't in, that means that we're still early. Now is still a great time to be buying Bitcoin for the long term. If everyone thinks that Bitcoin is going to the moon, then guess what? That means that it's probably going to dump. So if you guys are following the crypto news and you're stacking up sats, I would say this is more good news than it is bad news for the long term. Next, we're going to go on to crypto Twitter and have a look at some of the analyses there. Satoshi Flipper here is talking about the hidden bullish divergence, which involves a higher high in price with a lower low in RSI, and this often leads to a move up. He's also alluding to the symmetrical triangle, and that's the one you can see over here, and we see a close-up of that with Josh Rager, who's talking about the higher lows and the lower highs, and he's, you know, interested to see how this is going to break out. And certainly if we come down and find support here again at the 9,000 and move up, we could really be getting ready for a big move. Crypto Burb is showing the two diagonal resistances we have here, and he's talking about the consolidation on the resistance, which is a good sign, because if we have a lot of price action close to a resistance, it gives us support and shows a lot of interest at that price range. Furthermore, you can see the 200 simple moving average, which has found support here on the weekly, and the SMA 50, the 50 simple moving average, is potentially going to hold as a new support. I wouldn't say that we've already established that as support. We're kind of grinding along this level now. This is what you want to see to establish a real support, where you find support and then you bounce off of it. But certainly there is an indication that this could act as support for the next move up. Then Bitcoin Jack Sparrow has changed his name to Ethereum Jack because Ethereum has recently had a breakout. As you can see, he has these hammers here from previous resistances showing the breakout, which is getting really exciting. I'm going to show you guys that on the chart. So Ethereum, you can see I was talking about this important double top over here on the chart on Ethereum. And now we have broken out with a daily candle. There's not a lot of volume yet on this daily candle, but if we go down to the 4-hour, we can see that there actually is a pretty decent amount of volume. Over here, you can see we're above the moving average of the volume. So that's pretty solid. And also what's very worthy to note here, guys, is the VPVR. So you can see that we have a base here. There's a lot of liquidity at this zone, and we've just broken out of it, which means that it can really go wild from here. It's really free reign. It's no man's zone over here. There's a good chance that this initial pump is going to get us to some new highs. And let's have a look if we zoom out for where we can actually reach. So you see we have this long-standing diagonal resistance from all the way up there. Now that's a potential top that we could reach. Also, if you look at this diagonal channel over here, and if you assume that this is a fake out over here, right, because there's actually, it went up and below, then one could assume that we might find some resistance over here, and that would have us at $250. So there's really nothing much stopping us here. As I mentioned before, we were contracting within this zone. We had a double bottom over here, and we had a double top over here, pretty much a triple top. And now that we've broken out of it, the only thing that remains to be seen is, do we either continue moving up or do we come down and find support? And it's just worthy to note that it's very possible that we come down all the way to 210, for example, before bouncing up again. So next we have Luke Martin at Venture Coinist, who's comparing Ethereum to Bitcoin on the ETH Bitcoin chart, and we can see that we've had support here, then we had it as resistance, and now we have a green candle closing above this. So again, this is certainly a good sign that we might see another move up. He talks about there having been a 15 to 20% move the last time that we found support. So as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, some alts are seeing some real movement right now. If we look at Digibyte, for example, we have 31% move in the last 7 days. And in case you didn't know, Altcoin Buzz also has a news website, and we often talk about a lot of the alts which are moving and the partnerships that they're having, and for example 20 facts that you didn't know. So be sure to check us out on Altcoin Buzz as well if you haven't already. Looking at the chart for Digibyte, we can see there's been huge movement here. Look at this, 1,253% move, and this is in the last 11 weeks alone. So insane moves here, and this chart for Bittrex only goes back to 2018. But if you go and check out the chart all the way back to 2017, you can see that Digibyte has had some massive moves over here, right? So if history is anything to go by, this may be the start of a new massive move. Certainly we've already had a huge move up, and it may be looking for a correction. That being said, we've already had a big candle coming, a wick coming down here. We've seen incredible volatility here. So this might be some sort of consolidation waiting for the next move up. Whether we come down to the previous high level of liquidity at 0.01 or whether we move up from here is hard to say, but there's certainly a very strong indication that there's a lot of bullish pressure. Quick tip, if you want to look for a chart, the best thing to do is to usually look at which chart has the most volume. So for example, here we can see that Bittrex has most of the volume for Digibyte, and that's why I use the Bittrex chart. Another coin which has moved 18.8% in the last 7 days, but actually a hell of a lot more in the past several months, is Enjin coin. We've been talking about Enjin for a while now. We really can't get enough of it. Altcoin Buzz. We mentioned it in the top coins to look out for in 2020. This is number 6, Enjin, and as you can see, we've been covering the news for Enjin for the past several months, since we often cover news related to blockchain gaming. Having a look at the chart is just absolutely explosive. This chart is ridiculous. Look at this move over here, 625%, and this is crossing previous weekly highs. You'll note that Bitcoin is still trying to cross previous weekly highs, but Enjin is just going through the roof here. There's certainly a lot of interest in blockchain gaming and certainly in Enjin coin specifically. So is this a pump and dump? Well, you know, it's possible, but certainly there's a lot of good fundamentals behind Enjin. Otherwise, we wouldn't have recommended it in our top altcoins to look out for. So is this a good time to get into Enjin? Well, if we look at the daily chart, we certainly have a very strong, solid uptrend here, but really what you want to be doing if you really want to get into Enjin is you want to wait for a consolidation or a pullback period, all right? So for example, we had a consolidation over here where the candles just kind of calmed down a little bit. And what you'll notice in these consolidation periods is that the RSI will reach highs like it did over here, and then it will come down and it will give it some potential strength for making another move up. So what you might want to be looking out for is a new consolidation period starting out over here. Now the only question is how low does it go? You know, that's hard to say. Certainly we have a liquidity zone down here at 0.14, and if that doesn't hold, then we might even come all the way back down here. These altcoins, they can offer insane gains, but they also have a lot of volatility associated with them, so just be careful if you're trading altcoins. Another coin which we mentioned in our top altcoins to look out for in 2020 is of course Cardano. And if you look at the chart of Cardano, we've recently had a pump on the daily. We had a consolidation over here and we have really nice solid breakout. And you can see Bitcoin from its previous low on the weekly chart, it's made 165% move. Cardano has made a whopping 284% move. So be sure to check out our website and our Twitter, because we'll often post about coins that we're excited about or that we think have real potential moving forward. Considering that Bitcoin is right now in a consolidation zone where it likely won't make any big moves within the next few days or maybe even week, we could see altcoins make some further moves. So our Cardano is seeing potential resistance at 0.072. That would give it another potential 15%. However, if we come down to to find support, we may come down to the previous consolidation zone, which is also minus 14%. So it's hard to justify entering a trade for Cardano right now. But as mentioned in our top altcoins, we do believe that this has some serious potential in 2020. Another coin which we mentioned in our top altcoins to look out for in 2020 is, of course, Chiliz. And Chiliz is the fintech platform of Socios. So from a TA perspective, Chiliz actually looks like a very interesting buy right now. We have a consolidation period over here, as you can see by this triangle. If we look at the closes of these candles, then we would actually be drawing this like so. And now, as you can see, we are breaking out of here, right? There's not much volume, to be fair, but certainly if you were looking to enter a position here, this would be pretty decent in the sense that we have found consolidation here. So there is some reason to believe that we would find support if we were to come down again. All right, guys, that's it from me. Let me know what coins you have in the comments section below. Do you have any coins which have been pumping recently? Are you thinking of buying any new coins, looking for any new entries? Let us know down in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.